Welcome back again to my channel. My name is Jenny. So today's video is the cutting of this waistcoat. You can also call it a vest. So if this sounds like what you're interested to learn, hit on the subscribe button, like and share this video, and also turn on your notification bell so that whenever I post a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. And also, if you're a new subscriber, thank you for coming to my channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, I also want to say thank you for coming back. So let's get into it. Welcome again, soulmate. So guys, these are my drafting materials. So let's go ahead and draft out the patterns. So the first thing I'm going to do is to rule out my starting line. So go ahead and rule out your starting line. So this starting line is going to serve as the shoulder line. So this part is going to be the center front. So on that shoulder line, go ahead and divide your shoulder measurements by 2. So mine is 7.5. Then you place it there. So on that point, go down by ½ inch for the shoulder slope. So from that shoulder slope, mark out your armhole length. So your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. Then after doing that, I'm also going to place it on this part. So after doing that, I'm going to place my tape on the actual line. Then I went ahead to mark out 10 inches for my bust point. So the under bust is not going to be needed. So go ahead and mark your half length. So mine is 16.5. Now from that half length, go ahead and mark 2 inches downward. So I'm going to go down by 2 inches. So that is how long I want these waistcoats to be. So you can go down by 3 inches to 2.5 inches depending how long you want the waistcoat to be, okay? So after doing that, I went ahead to connect all the points together. So I'm going to label this my chest line, the bust points, the waistline, and the full length. So I'm going to mark 3 inches for my neck width. So for the back neck depth, I'm going to mark 1.25. So then I'm going to connect it with a curve like this, okay? Go ahead and curve out your neckline. So coming to the chest line, whatsoever you have at the shoulder line, go ahead and place it on the chest line to have like a straight line for the armhole length. So I went ahead to also connect the shoulder slope. So on the chest line, I went ahead to divide my bust measurement by 4, place it there. So on the waistline also, I went ahead to divide my waist measurement by 4. Then I'm going to add 1 inch for that, okay? So at the full length, whatsoever you have at the waistline, go ahead and place it on the full length. So now coming to the armhole line, go ahead and indicate the midpoint. So from that midpoint, go in by 2 inches. So this is a vest, is a waistcoat. So the armhole part is going to be different, okay? So the next thing to do now is for you to go out from the neck width by 3.5 inches. So from the neck width, go out by 3.5 inches like this. So we don't want the shoulder parts to be too long, okay? At the chest line, I'm going to go down by 1 inch. So that 1 inch is going to help this part to relax properly at the armhole area. So it's not going to be too tight because this is just like a jacket, so you can wear a dress underneath it, okay? I hope you understand. So that is why we have to do all of this for the armhole area so that it will give us like a space to put it on, okay? So after doing that, guys, so you can see along this part, you can see how the armhole part now is inside closer to the center front, okay? So after doing that, I'm going to connect the points together like this. After connecting the point together, go ahead and mark out your darts. So place your bust span measurements, so mine is 3.5 on the lines. So after doing that, I'm going to mark ½ inch at both sides of the line, okay? So after doing this is with the dart. Go ahead and connect your darts. So for the side, I'm going to add ½ inch for ease from the chest line to the full length, okay? Then I'm going to add 1 inch for stitching allowance. So we don't want this to be too tight on us because it's a jacket, it's a waistcoat. So we are going to be wearing a dress underneath it, or you can actually wear it on its own. Like you see me putting it on, you will not want it to be so tight on your body, okay? So we added our allowance, so you can see. So at the bottom part, go ahead and add your allowance at the neck area and also at the shoulder part, ½ inch. The next thing to do is to just cut this out. So after cutting it out, guys, this is what we are having. So you can see this is the back, okay? So I'm going to use the back to cut out the front pattern. So for the front pattern, I went ahead to get a fresh piece of paper. So I'm going to rule out my starting line, okay? So go ahead and rule out your starting line. So after ruling out my starting line, I went ahead to mark out 1.5 inches. So go ahead and rule out 1.5 inches like so. So after rolling out the 1.5 inches, so I'm going to place the paper like this. So make sure the center back is touching that line, okay? You can see that line. So just make sure it's touching the line. So after placing it, I'm going to just trace out the shoulder part, the armhole, and also the side. So also at the bottom part, I'm also going to trace it out. So then also indicate the neck width, the chest line, the bust points like this, and also the waistline. So after making all those points, I went ahead to connect them together like this, okay? So connect the waistline also. So I'm going to also connect the chest line like this. So my marker was so faint, then I have to change the marker. I went ahead to connect all the points together. So this is the bust point, the waistline, and the full length. So on that full length, I'm going to go down by 3.5 inches. So just go down by 3.5 inches, okay? So on that 3.5 inches, just go in by 2 inches. Just go in by 2 inches, okay, like this. So coming to the neckline, the neck width for the front is going to be the same for the back. So for the neck depth for the front, I came down by 3 inches, as you can see what I'm doing. So I went ahead to connect the neckline. So go ahead and connect your neckline. So after connecting it, guys, now I'm going to connect with a slant curve from the full length line towards that 1.5 inches line we made, okay, at the center front. So I'm going to connect it all the way to the 3.5 inches at the bottom part. So after doing this, also at the side, I'm also going to connect it with a slant curve like this all the way to that 3.5 inches point we made at the bottom part like so. So after doing this, guys, I'm going to mark out my buttonhole line. So I'm going to mark out 1 inch. So that is what you see me doing like this. So I'm going to mark out 1 inch. So this is going to serve as the buttonhole line, okay, as the allowance for the buttonhole. So this is going to serve as the allowance for the button. So as we all know, a vest or a waistcoat always have like a V neckline, okay? So I came down from the chest line by 1 inch. So I will connect from the neck width with my pencil to that point I made. So you can see what I'm doing. So after getting the points I want, I actually want this to have like a slant curve also. So I went ahead to use this part of my pattern master to connect all the way like this, from that neck width all the way to that 1 inch. I came down from the chest line like this. And after connecting, this is what I have. So for the spacing of the button, I'm going to make use of 1.5 inches, okay? So this is where the buttons are going to be placed. So this part is going to be cut out. All this part I'm marking are going to be cut out. So if you want your vest to be like a basic waistcoat or a basic vest, go ahead and make use of this pattern like this, okay? So just place your dart and cut it out. So for this, it's going to have like a princess dart. So it's not going to be a bustier, but it's going to have that princess dart line at the armhole area, okay? So after doing that, I'm going to check the midpoint of the armhole like this. Go ahead and place your bust span measurements. So after getting the midpoint, I'm going to connect from the bust point all the way to the armhole area, that middle of the armhole point like this. So if you have been following this channel, you should know how to draft a princess dart bustier by now. So but this is not a bustier. Like I said, it has just the line. You can see just the dart. It's not a bustier. So after that, go ahead and connect your darts all the way from the bust point to the end of the vest, as you can see what I'm doing. So after doing this, at the armhole area also, I'm going to take out my dart of 1 inch. So you can see what I did. Half inch at both sides of the line. So at this shorter part, this down part, I'm going to extend it by 1 inch. Remember, we took out the dart of 1 inch at the armhole area. So I'm going to just replace it back like this. So now I'm going to curve out the new armhole. So after curving it out, guys, this is what we have. So if you don't replace that 1 inch, you are going to have a shortage after joining the two pieces together, okay? So if you want like a wet pocket, go ahead and place it right at this part, okay? So this armhole part is not going to be needed anymore. Then I'm going to just go ahead and cut this out. So just watch carefully the way I'm cutting it out, so that when you are cutting yours, you don't make a mistake, okay? So guys, after cutting it out, this is what we have. You can see the front part. You can see how beautiful it's looking already. So this is the back parts. So we have the front pieces, that is the front pattern and the back pattern. So you can see how the armhole area of the front and the back area align properly. So go ahead and add half inch there. At the armhole, half inch, bottom part half inch. So at this part, half inch, at the side, at the center front, at the neckline, and at the bottom. Also at the top. So at the center back is going to be on fold. Add your necessary stitching allowance. So remember, the side, you're not going to add allowance because it has been added on the pattern. That is the allowance at the side. After that, go ahead and cut out the patterns on your fabric. So I've gone ahead to cut out the patterns on my fabric, and you can see what I have. So towards this part, you can see I added half inch all around it, okay, just like this. So coming to this other part, you can also see I added half inch on the parts except at the side, okay, because we have added our stitching allowance already. So coming to the back piece also, I've added my stitching allowance but at the side there is no need of adding any allowance. So guys, this is the end of today's tutorial for the stitching part. So in our next tutorial, we are going to be stitching down all these pieces together to form this beautiful waistcoat, as you can see right here. So don't forget to subscribe and also turn on your notification bell, so that when I post the sewing part, you'll be the first to be notified. So like and share. Bye, see you then.